Hi, it's Andy from GetConnected, and I'm here at the Technology, Media, and Telecommunications Predictions for 2012 from Deloitte. With me is Duncan Stewart here from Deloitte. Duncan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
So I really like these predictions. I want to talk about a couple of them that would actually really mean for Canadians. Now, Canadians were used to data caps, and your prediction is that the rest of the world, the majority of them don't have data caps, but that they're going to be moving towards data caps instead of us going without data caps.
Right. So this is a short-term prediction. Over the long run, we're eventually going to have fiber to 90% of our population. But that's not going to happen until 2030 or 2040. In the medium term, now, around the world, ISPs are discovering that when you're hooking people over phone lines and cable lines, you cannot allow them to download all the movies, all the music, all the video that they want. It's just congesting the network, especially during peak hours. Now, the blunt force way of applying that is having monthly data caps. We think that 100 million people around the world at the end of 2012 will now have to start watching the meter on their ISP. That's a new thing, but it does suggest that the Canadian model is in fact the model that the rest of the world is moving to. Now, that's a disappointment for many Canadians. A lot of them, I mean, I got 4 kids. I was kind of hoping all you can eat would be great too. But in the short term, that's not the way it's going to work out.
You mentioned like Canadian households, and another prediction I thought that's probably one of the biggest ones that people are talking about is the whole 2 tablets in a household. What do you think is propelling this?
People want the internet everywhere. We don't want to have to go to a single room in the house. We don't want to be tied down to a desktop computer with wires. We don't even want to necessarily carry one around all of the time. Wouldn't it be great if you had a tablet per floor? Or, in the case of me and my wife, I'm a lot bigger than Barbara, and when I keep the tablet, she has trouble ripping it out of my hands. She went out and bought her own. That idea of computing pervasiveness is one that we've seen in terms of cell phones, where we have multiple per household. We've already seen in terms of computers. Now we'll start seeing it in terms of tablets. People want to be connected 100% of the time.
Now, you put these predictions out every year. When you were putting this together and looking at the results, what was the one thing that really surprised you when you were looking at the data?
For 2012 or 2011?
For 2012.
I think one of the big surprises is going to be the resilience of the consumer. Normally, in an economically troubled environment like we expect to see in 2012, you would expect to see spending on toys like computers and TVs drop. We don't think that's the case. In fact, due to Moore's Law and just the progress of technology, we see consumers getting tremendous bang for their buck out of technology devices. There are $100 smartphones that you can now buy. There are $200 tablets that are pretty good. TVs get cheaper and cheaper, and the content that goes on all of this stuff is increasingly affordable. So we think that consumer demand for technology, media, and telecom in 2012 is actually going to be strong regardless of what the economy does.
So even in like a recession, you might actually see the consumer products increasing.
Because it's cheaper. Instead of going and buying an expensive vacation, a new home, or a new car, go buy a couple tablets for the kids, and it's on a dollars per hour of fun basis. It's pretty compelling.
Well, you know, Duncan, I can't wait to see you next year, and we can kind of go over and see what predictions happen and what the future holds for 2013. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks for interviewing me today.
Andy from GetConnected, and I will see you next time.
Gotta get connected.